Hello, lovelies. Here we go, start our session. It's more of a session for me, though. Oh my gosh. Been having some extreme technical stuff. So, some shadows that you're not used to, some background that you may not be used to. It's because I have to use a whole different format and the camera's in a different place. So, yeah. So, what do we do when we're frustrated and things aren't going quite the way we expected them to? The video part is not as big of a problem or issue for me because I get guided and that's cool, and I don't have an idealism that it has to be perfect. However, the technical stuff, what do we do when we butt up against something that we just feel we have absolutely no control over, right? And I know that happens to us a lot. So what was presented to me was the idea that we always have options, first of all. So, and a checking in to see what we do with our options, right? So when you get to a point when you're really, when we all get to a point where we're really, really, really frustrated, I think from what I can see, what I've been told about it is we have a minimum of 3 options. Within those options, there's some variances, but there's always 3 options. I don't know that I've ever not seen 3 options for some problem. So for the emotional part, we can stay frustrated and accumulate that frustration, start picking up old baggage of frustration, old memories and scar tissues, and start lashing out, start breaking things, right? We can surrender, quit, and give up, and feel bad about that. Or we have an option to turn it inwards and beat ourselves up, criticize ourselves, and pick up all those old baggages, right? All these old bags of scar tissues and memories. And decide how much worth we have to be able to do this process and how stupid we are. I mean, all those old, right? All those old phraseologies that we heard. You may have heard growing up, or we may have heard at school or on the playground or whatever. So all those scenarios start coming up. And I guess those in a collective is one package, meaning taking up the scar tissue, right? And what Spirit is telling me is that the beneficial way of looking at it is to bring in truth and facts about yourself in regard to the situation. So, bringing up awareness about what do you do when you get frustrated and where does that come from, and all those, awarenesses that we can really learn from. And if we can all bring in truths and facts about ourselves, it will sustain and ground the aspect of us that we know is certain and we know for sure. The rest is allowance and acceptance. So it may be that it's necessary to stay through this and get through it and go into it more than to sublimate and do all this emotional stuff. Addictive behaviors and blah, 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 right? So, is it possible that the truths and facts about who we are at the core could really, I don't know about, I don't hear it as necessarily negate, but It could certainly ground the situation so it doesn't flare up, go sideways, etc., into all those emotions. So, as an example. So as I was getting ready, and my day is like kind of preset today, and I have a very limited amount of time, and I'm freaking out because I was up till about 2 a.m. trying to upload the day 5 video. Hello, day 6. And I'm kind of freaking out because I'm responsible to myself for doing these videos. Now, so I look at the facts. The fact is, I did the taping on the day of day 5, as I'm doing the taping today on the day of day 6. And life goes on. And the technical aspect, I don't understand why. I'm not a guru at technology, but I'm certainly not ridiculously illiterate about it either. But I was observing what did I do to get through the frustration. So I went from my one computer that wasn't uploading it many, many, many times. And so here's the point. Okay, so what do? You just keep doing the same thing? No, something has to change, right? A fact has to be inserted so that a functional change can happen. So I said, okay, this platform is not working. I've tried multiple updates. I've tried and it's taking the time that I don't necessarily have. So let me go to another platform. And in between time, I had a meeting with someone, and I didn't want to cancel because of this. It was more important to have that interaction. So I went to another platform. Now on the other platform, it's a different system. It's literally another platform. And I had to relearn, in my angst, in my anxiety, how to re-edit on that platform. There were some swear words, I have to say. A lot of breathing. Was it the way that I was trying to look for some continuity? And again, that word trying. It wasn't going to be the same. It wasn't the same platform. How could it be the same? So it wasn't. However, it finished. I stuck to it. And it's uploaded. So please go watch it. So I wanted to go back also, since it was just brought up with the word trying. Trying to the brain means absolutely nothing. So one of your challenges today, a mini challenge, let's call it a mini challenge, is to see how many times you use the word try. Okay? Or observe people using the word try, whichever one is more interesting to you. The word try is a conundrum to the brain and the neurological system. If you say to someone, could you please try to pick up that pencil? Is there a problem with the pencil? Is it glued to the floor? I mean, that already presents itself an issue. So don't try. Be Yoda and do or do not. Or don't do. I don't know his exact words. My husband brought up Yoda, and I love the concept. I just don't know the exact phraseology. So you can either do it, or you're doing it, or you're not doing it. Right? So you're either going to pick up the make an effort to pick up the pencil, or you won't make an effort to pick up the pencil. So you cannot you cannot try to change your mind. You either work at it or you're not working at it. That's the simplicity of the brain. And that's what I love about body-mind stuff. It can be so simplistic and bizarrely simplistic. And yet, if we allow ourselves to get past the complexity of what our brain talks us into, or emotions talk us into more than anything else, there's usually a pretty simple resolution. So part of that resolution is to bring up your truths and facts. truths as I hear it and utilize it in my own process are things that are unique to me, or unique to you. What is unique to us, right, individually? Not to be used as a comparison, not to be used as boasting or bragging or all that, schoolyard nonsense, right? It's just facts. Truth. Simple. This is me. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm not great at. This is what I've been willing to work on myself with. This is what I'm not been willing to work on myself with. And there are evolutions throughout our life. It never stops. And I know that there are a lot of us are searching for this kind of spiritual ending, right? And it's not. There's no spiritual ending. You're here to gain a spiritual understanding of how to be a human. Until you're no longer a human living, then the search continues, the process continues, the work continues. The intensity of this can change for sure. And the more aware and the more mindful and the bigger the muscle you gain about the mindfulness, the more graceful this becomes. That's the channel for the day. So I'm a little off-put by the whole camera change because I've had to use my phone instead of the camera. Anyway, what do we do with frustration? So as I was getting ready for the video today, I wore the colors that I love. I grounded myself with browns in my eyes because I used to be very attracted to brown and beige as my first color palette as a child, and then quickly went to pink and purple, but for a long time it was brown. I love Native American jewelry and turquoise and the appreciation and the honor of earth, and so that's a truth about me, and so that's what I assisted visually and kind of in a ceremonial way to remind myself it's not about the technology issues. There's a higher purpose, there's your own personal purpose for this, and don't get thrown off track. And so check to see, besides how much your mini challenge of checking to see how much you use the word try in your life. So also check and observe what you do with frustration. And if you're a parent, do you allow your kids to get frustrated? What do you do? Do you jump in rescue? Do you get frustrated with them? It's, everybody's slightly different, and it's an interesting process. So those are your 2 mini challenges. You can pick one or pick them both. Obviously there's end results to the awareness, but the awareness comes first, and then we'll go from there. Our goal is not to overwhelm you with observations in a you have to change this or you should change this. Those carry an enormous amount of pressure and weight that is not necessary. The point is to bring up awareness to see if it's something that you want to change. And there are lots of different ways to do that. You may already have your way, and I'm sure we'll go into more possible techniques of getting rid of some of these blocks. However, in my other video, we did talk about a few techniques of focus and release. So if you're interested and you want to comment about what's going on, I would be happy to do what I can to help in this platform. So I wish you much encouragement. You can wish me much encouragement too on the technological stuff. And And I hope you have a fabulous day and always wish you much empowerment. We'll talk to you soon, and I will pick a card for today's session and put it up on my Instagram, or as the kids say these days, IG. Be well.